In this video, I decided to go to Birdsong Conservation Area. Birdsong Conservation Area is a 400+ acre plot of land in 2 plots, and it has a beautiful little stream running through it called Brush Creek. I had never fished Brush Creek, except one time I stopped there and made a couple of casts just for fun and caught a little long-eared sunfish. And ever since then, I've threatened to come back, but somehow have just never done it. But today is the day. Since Brush Creek is even too small for a kayak, I decided to bring my belly boat. This plot of land on Birdsong has 2 places to park, so I decided to start here and walk across till I got to Brush Creek, and then float down Brush Creek in my belly boat until I got down to the bridge, and then leave my belly boat at the parking place at the bridge and go get my truck. There are no other accommodations on Birdsong Wildlife Area other than just places to park. They have pretty much left it in its natural state, which for me adds to the beauty of the area. The little creek is too small to take my kayak or my canoe or any of my John boats. So today I'm bringing the belly boat. We're going to fish out of that. This is my little tackle box. I've got some feathered jigs which I make, some tube jigs, 1 or 2 little spinners, and some none-guesser spoons. On the other side of the little box I've got a few tiny crankbaits, some strike indicators, and some lead heads to use with my tube jigs. I also bought some enticements to try to trick the little guys into biting. I cheat when I can. I also brought an extra spool of line in case I need it. I'm using 3-pound test, but I brought the 4-pound test in case I need it. I brought a pair of needle nose pliers and a small pair of scissors. This is my little anchor that I use sometimes when I'm in a belly boat. If there's some current and I don't want to sit there and kick my feet, I'll drop that little anchor. This is my lunch. A couple of energy bars and some crackers. I got some water with me in the cooler in my truck, but I won't be taking it with me. I also have a little 3-foot rod, which I use a lot when I fish the rivers because there's so much brush and stuff with them. So we're going to put all this together and see what's in this little creek. Well, that's what I have to walk through to see if I can find this creek. It should be down there about 100 yards or so, someplace in this brush. That's why they call it Brush Creek, I guess. Well, it opened up a little bit after I got through that first bunch of brush, and kind of opened up a little, so it's not too bad, not as bad as I thought it would be. It's also not quite as far as I anticipated that it might be, but it looks like that maybe there's a creek down there. Haven't found it yet, but we're going to try. What I thought was a creek wasn't, so I'm continuing on. I don't know, there's supposed to be a little creek down here called Brush Creek. If I can't access it here, I can go on downstream about 3 miles to a different conservation area, and the same stream runs through it. So if we don't get success here, maybe we'll find it somewhere else. Well, it looks like I see some water, but it's sure not much. I don't know if there's enough water in this to fish or not. It's very, very tiny here. You can see it's very, very clear. There's not hardly enough water in here to fish. I do see a little bass swimming in that little hole of water, I'm going to investigate a little bit here and see if I can at least catch a couple of fish here, and if so, I'll go on down further where hopefully it gets a little bigger. This is upstream from where I came to the little creek. I saw a riffle in the water, maybe from a fish, and this is downstream, so I don't know. We'll check it out. Okay, that little hole there is maybe 2 feet deep. I'm going to see if there's a fish in it. Cast my little lure out there and see what I can get. On the very first cast, I caught this little chub minnow, which is not exactly what I'm looking for, but I at least caught a fish in this little creek. At this point, I decided to walk over to the little gravel bar that you can see on the right side of this picture so I could get a better angle to make a cast. But as I tried to do so, I suddenly went above my waist in the water as if in quicksand. That's not unusual in small streams in this part of the state. But I had forgotten my waterproof camera, and it was in my pocket, and this is what happened. Obviously, I had to abandon this trip and go back to my truck and eventually go home. But I learned one important lesson. Always take a waterproof camera when you're taking pictures around water. But I was still curious about why there was not more water in the creek. So when I got home, I logged on to Google Maps and made an important discovery. Google Earth showed something that was not on the area maps. When I walked down through the woods thinking I was going to Brush Creek, the little creek that I ran into instead was called Cannon Branch, and I never did get to the water that I was wanting to fish. Well, it was quite a disappointment, but I don't give up easy, as you will see if you will join me in part 2 of this video series.